Now the latest on Campaign 2012, where Newt Gingrich has surged to the front of the Republican presidential race, and also he picked up a big endorsement over the weekend in New Hampshire.
So what are the odds now, the big question this morning, that Gingrich can actually build on that and even just keep the momentum going? Political correspondent Jan Crawford joins us this morning in Washington with the latest. Jan, good morning. We look at this endorsement from the union leader in New Hampshire, and Newt Gingrich, of course, is the latest Republican candidate to see this surge in the polls. The big question, as we mentioned, can he sustain it? And if so, what will help him do that and avoid the fate of a Bachmann, a Perry, a Kane?
Right. I mean, how does he keep this momentum going? I mean, this is a huge development for Gingrich, this endorsement. It doesn't mean he's going to win New Hampshire, but with all the publicity and positive coverage he's going to get, it means he could well finish in second place, or at least compete for second, with Ron Paul. And the paper really hailed what they said was his bold conservative ideology, his past accomplishments in Congress. Now, it didn't get into his weaknesses. It acknowledged he's not a perfect candidate, and I've got to point out the paper's track record of endorsing winners isn't that great. It has said in the past, I'd rather pick a long shot if he had a true conservative ideology. That's why it endorsed Steve Forbes over George Bush in 2000. Pat Buchanan it endorsed in the 90s. And Gingrich is a long shot, too, even with this. It is almost inconceivable that he could catch Romney, who is polling, I think, about 18 points ahead on average in New Hampshire, and he has been for a while.
So that's in New Hampshire, but what about nationally? As a national candidate, does he have any chance, Jan, if it got this far, of perhaps appealing to more voters than Romney?
Well, he is across the country. He's really lit kind of a spark with voters. They've looked at these other candidates, like you said, and they've moved on. I mean, they saw Rick Perry stumble in the debates. They saw Herman Cain get hit with allegations of harassment, struggle on foreign policy. And they've seen Gingrich perform really well in the debates. He also has the clock on his side. I mean, the Iowa caucuses are just next month, so he's got a little less time to falter. Maybe, he could be the last man standing here. But, I mean, this fight isn't over. His opponents are going to start hitting him really hard. And keep your eye on Rick Perry, Michelle Bachmann on that.
When it comes to immigration, of course, it's still getting a lot of traction, those comments that he made in last Tuesday's debate. He was seeking to clarify them in the last few days, even over the weekend. But he also got some interesting, I guess you could almost call it support from a rather unlikely source in terms of those comments.
No, that's right, and an unlikely source, and maybe not the best endorsement. It's kind of funny. Gingrich got the conservative newspaper in New Hampshire endorsing him, and now he's got former President Bill Clinton coming out and saying, hey, I like Newt Gingrich's plan on immigration. So, for conservatives and particularly Iowa voters, I'm not sure that that's exactly what a candidate would like to hear. Now, in Iowa, I mean, Gingrich is up about 5 points in that state, but every political insider that you talk to says his position on immigration could really hurt him there. I think it will be less likely to be an issue in New Hampshire. It's less conservative in New Hampshire than in Iowa. And in New Hampshire, I think he's probably going to start getting hit hard. I know he is. I was told this by some of my campaign sources over the weekend. He's going to get really hard on some of the other things in his past. Corporate money he took after he left Speaker, corporate jets, the big spending at Tiffany's. Remember that? Ethics allegations when he was Speaker. Watch out for his opponents to go after him on a lot of that in the coming days.
Still much to come, Jan, as you mentioned that President Clinton comment, maybe not the best for conservatives, but if you're looking at a race and you want more middle of the road, independents could help him in that regard. Jan Crawford in Washington this morning. Jan, thanks.